Hi, I'm Amber Howland with Dragonfly Media, and thanks for joining me today while we make a necklace. So today what we're going to be making is this, along with a pair of earrings. So you're going to need a few tools to start out with. The first thing you're going to need is a pair of diagonal cutters. This is a very important tool. These are the round pliers, and we need these because this round actually helps us twist the wire. And you're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. You will also need approximately 24 inches of chain, any chain of your choosing, a clasp. I prefer the lobster clasp, but you can use any clasp you'd like. You need 2 jump rings and a pair of earring findings. These are the ones that I choose because the ring opens up real nicely. You're also going to need 24 gauge wire, a center stone. Any center stone will do. I have some other ones that I've seen that you can be either round or oval, but the important part is there has to be a hole at the top and at the bottom for the wire to go all the way through. And finally, you're going to need 15 other accompanying beads, and these can be anything of your choosing as well. You will need a measuring tool. I have a bead design board that helps me measure the chain, but honestly a ruler will work just fine. So once you have all of your pieces together, now we can go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is cut a piece of our wire. The amount that you cut is really up to you. I like to have a piece that's long enough that I can do multiple, but also short enough to be maneuverable. So in order so the next thing we're gonna do is really lay out our jewelry. Okay, so our centerpiece is gonna go right here. And this is where the bead board actually works really well, because you can put the centerpiece in the middle, and then you can actually lay out how your beads are gonna go in order. And we're gonna do 5 on each side, okay? Then we're gonna have 1 in the center, so find the prettiest one, your favorite bead. I think I like this one the best because it has a lot of different colors in it. So that's gonna go right down below with my center bead. And then my lobster clasp is gonna go right here. The jump rings on either side. Now the other pieces we're gonna put aside for now. Those are part of the earrings. In fact, I'm gonna put them in here just so they don't roll away accidentally. Okay, I'm gonna put these in here. So the next thing we're gonna do is start measuring out our chain. Now, you can kind of figure out how long you want it to be based on the fact that if you take the length of a typical necklace, cut it in half, and this is gonna be half of the side, knowing that you're gonna have pieces of stone in between. I like my necklaces to be a little long, especially when I have a nice centerpiece, because it can hang down. So I'm gonna assume it'll be between 19 and 20 inches. So with that being the case, the chain in the middle will be about 1 inch long. Now the first cut doesn't have to be an exact science. It can be about 1 inch, maybe a little longer, a little bit shorter. So we're gonna pick a piece and then we're gonna cut it, okay? Then every piece after that has to be exactly the same size. So what I typically do to make it easier is cut a small piece of your wire, okay? Make a little U out of it and put your first piece of chain on there. So that is going to be the template. Then the next piece is really simple to cut, because then all I have to do is make sure it's the same length, okay? And then I just keep going until I have all of them that I need. And in this instance, we're gonna need 12 of them. And when you get too many, you can always stop, pull off all of them except the first one, and then start measuring them out. So I put my chain in between each of the beads. That way I know exactly how much I need, and there's no chance of me making mistakes, because when it comes to making jewelry, mistakes happen. This is also why we need enough chain. And try not to use all of the chain, because we're going to need some for the earrings and we're going to need some for the bottom of the stone. All right, let's see where we're at. One here and there. So it looks like we need 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces, and I already have one in here, so I'm going to cut 3 more. I think this is the last one. Okay, so now we're ready to start making our jewelry. The remaining chain put aside, we're going to pick that up in a little bit. I'm going to clean off my space a little bit. Now that we have everything lined up, we're ready to start. So we're going to start with our jump ring. So the reason why they call these jump rings is they have little openings. So what we're going to do is start by opening this ring up. Now you don't want to pull it out because then it doesn't maintain its shape. You're actually going to pull it parallel. So you're just going to twist the piece open. All right, this makes it a lot easier to put them back together. Then we're going to take that first piece of chain. We're going to connect it up, and then we're just going to close that ring back up. If it doesn't maintain its shape, then you can go ahead and sort of maneuver it back together. So in this case, it did sort of, the shape didn't go back perfectly, and sometimes they don't, so then you sort of just push it back together until it's connected. Okay? Now we're going to take this wire that we cut a piece of earlier, and we're going to start actually doing wire shaping. So you're going to clasp it with your round pliers, leave about 1/4 inch, and then you're going to twist it around. All right, so that we have a circle. Now you're going to re-grab it on the inside and make a little hook. Now we do that so that it maintains the actual circle. All right, then we're going to take this piece of chain that we just grabbed and put it on the circle. And we're going to hold it. And this is where you start actually doing the wire twisting. Now you can do it by hand or you can use a tool. I tend to do a little bit of both, so I'll start by hand. And then you grab your needle nose pliers and you can shape it that way. So we want to get about 3 to 4 turns, and that's for strength. Any less than that, it's not as strong. Any more than that, it can look a little messy. Now it's really important that the very last piece is tucked in tight, because if it isn't, it'll catch on your skin. So the reason we do that is because now we have a very strong connection between the two. So the jump ring, like I said, sometimes they open up a little bit and you don't want your necklace falling apart. So by actually twisting the wire, wrapping the wire around, you make a much stronger connection. All right, so now we put on our first bead. Okay, make sure that's all the way tight down. Then you're going to leave just enough room for the wire to be wrapped around, about maybe 1/4 inch, a little bit less. And then you're going to wrap all the way around and then make a little bit of a hook again so that it maintains its shape. Now we're going to put on our next piece of chain. Now if you mess up and accidentally connect it without putting the chain on, it's fine. Just cut it off and start over. It happens every once in a while. Now we hold on to the ring and we wrap again. So try to get three tight rings on there, and then we're going to cut it. Now we'll use the needle nose pliers to finish the connection. Let me get it. See how it's sticking out a little bit? Gotta always make sure it's tight. Okay, so there. Now we have the start of our necklace. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue all the way through until we get down to the very last chain. Okay, so now that we finished this side of the chain, go ahead and put it aside, and we're going to start on our other side. So we'll take our lobster clasp, the first piece of chain, and our second jump ring. So we're going to open up the jump ring, add on our lobster clasp and our chain, and we're going to close that ring back up. We're just tighten it a little bit. Don't want to over tighten it. All right. And now we're going to do the exact same thing to this side that we did to the other side. Okay, so now that we finished this side, we're going to put it back And now we're gonna pick up our centerpiece. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect these two together. So first, we're gonna go ahead and make the connection. So make another loop. We're gonna add this chain to this chain. Make the same loop that you did before. Make this one as pretty as possible because you're going to see it really well. If you don't like the way it looks, cut it off and do it again. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you need to take breaks, take your time. This is supposed to be fun, relaxing, trying something new, non-stressful activity. All right, did we get it all? Nope, that hook is still hanging out there. There we go. All right. And then we're gonna put on our really pretty piece. Okay, so now we're gonna take a little break and put it aside. Because from there, we're gonna have some chain hanging off of it. So we have our single bead, our prettiest bead, and we're gonna make some uneven links. They don't need to all be the same. Now, if you like them being the same, be the same. If you have any random pieces, grab those. Those are gonna be important. And in fact, this one, I think what I'm gonna do is just cut this one right here so that I have two small pieces. And then just go ahead and cut a couple random ones, maybe right here and right there, and maybe one more. Okay, now this we're gonna need every bit of this for our earrings. So we're gonna go back to this piece. And we're gonna go ahead and make our final loop for here. Want this to be as tight as possible so it doesn't hang. And we're gonna put on our long piece. And one of the short pieces. And our other two long pieces. Okay, that last piece is going to be the very last element of our necklace. Okay, so make sure they're all on the loop, and we're going to finish that off. Making this as tight as possible and also pretty because you're going to actually see it. Giving a little bit of a pill. Okay, I think we finished that off. There. There you go. Now, on that little tiny piece, I'm going to get a piece of wire. Make a little loop right here. Our little centerpiece stone, the one that we like the best. Okay, now we need to find the little one. There it is. Put that little piece on there. We are almost done with the necklace. And there we go. The necklace is now done. All right. So now you can either put it on or you can go ahead and put it aside. And now let's make the matching earrings. Ooh, that's really fun. I like that. I like the little piece there. Okay, so now we're going to pull out our earring bits and our 4 stones. Now, I do not have a lot of chain left. You may have more, and you can do these as long or short as you want. So I'm going to do what I did before. Take a little piece of wire so I can see exactly. I want them to be exactly the same length. And by doing that, it makes it a lot easier to tell. And there should be a little piece hanging out of the bottom. I'm just going to cut that off right there. Okay, so now these are for each side. But we do want to make them the same because we want, so let's see how we want to do this. We want, let's go ahead and just line them up. Make this simple. Let's do one here and here. Put them back on. There and there. Put those back on. And then let's just cut those in half. Sort of. Okay, so let's put them on either side so I know what we're doing. So now we got to separate them out. So there's a 2. Okay, so 3 and 3 and 4. And this one was actually 1. There was one oddball one. I'm going to cut that off there. Okay, right? So now we have 2, 2, 3, and 3. 4, 4, 5, and 5. Okay. Let's get all the other scraps aside, and we're going to pull out our wire. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is take your earring and open up the ring a little bit. We want to make it open enough so that we can fit all these pieces on. So the first thing we're going to do is put, sometimes easier to clasp with these, grab the first set, put it on, and then we're going to grab the third set and put it on and close that ring back up because it can only fit so much on there. We don't want things to fall off. Okay, now let's do that to the other side as well so that they're matching. Open the ring, and we're going to do the short one and the center one. Okay, and we close it back up. Sometimes it's easier with the needle nose. Okay, perfect. Now we get our wire and we start on the next bit. Now we're going to just add these stones to them. Start with the short one because the short one seems to be the hardest one to get. So I always like to start with the harder ones first so we can get them out of the way. Right. And then with the short stone, I think we're going to add, yeah, so we'll do the short stone with the long piece at the end, and then we'll do the opposite for the other one. Grab the longest piece. By now I should be really kind of an expert at this wire twisting, huh? Or wire wrapping, wire twisting, wire wrapping, whatever you want to call it. All right, next one. By the time we're all done, these might actually be about, they should be different sizes, but they'll only be slightly different. But different enough because of the way they hang. They'll still look nice and unique. Every once in a while, the rings separate. So I just push them back together with my fingernail. Thing doesn't want to behave itself. There's the earrings. Not too much different size, but very different because of the how they hang. Okay, we'll go ahead and finish up the next one. Start with the short one again because that one is the hardest. I really love these stones we picked today because I wanted something that was colorful. But weren't identical. Okay, so again, we did the short one with the short chain with the long chain. All right, last one. Oh, we're out of wire again. Cut one final piece. Excited, we're almost done. Now we gotta wear this thing soon. Okay, so now let's find the chain. And and then we get the very last piece of chain. And the final bit of wire. And all done. So there we have it. Our earrings. And our necklace. Well, thanks for joining me today. And hopefully you learned something fun and might get a little bit more interested in making some jewelry. All right, well, congratulations, we are done. I hope you really enjoyed making this as much as I did. I love the additional little touch that we added to the bottom that I've never done before. And of course the earrings that go with it. Very delicate, very sweet, but with all the colors in there, we can wear them with a lot of different outfits. Thank you, I had a lot of fun.